was waiting
Okay,
for
waiting
Munson.
for Facebook to give me the go-ahead.
Okay. I don't even know how I started. Oh, man.
Okay. Okay, Facebook gave me the go-ahead, so I'll hit the timer and then we'll start, okay?
Let's get it popping. Let's start again. Take 2.
Okay, look at the screen. When this is on the air, you're on the air.
I'm on the air.
You're going to restart the
Yeah, I got him a hitter here. I got the
Okay.
clicker.
Here we go.
All right, let's get it popping. 4, 3, 2, 1. On the air, y'all. Hey, good evening. Fine Tuesday evening it is. I don't know where you are, but where I am, blessings still abound. And blessings out to you and yours from the Wright Report with Jerome Wright, where we give you edutainment for the community. That's right, edutainment, where we educate and entertain, where we educate in ways that you can understand and digest, where we talk in ways that resonate with our community and our struggles and our attempts to, achieve a sense of unity in our community so that we can take this movement to where it needs to be. So I'm your host, Jerome Wright. This is your first time logging in. Glad to see you. Hope you'll be a regular, subscriber, like, whatever you want to do. But we're glad you're here. And to my regulars, to my family, to my people, nothing but love. Thank you for tuning in. Got a little shoulder injury, so I can't get it up high. But thank you for your love and for your support. We here to make some changes, man. And talking about change.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. They know what I'm going to say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody's going to clean it up. Every time I speak,
Every time I speak, this is the Wright Report, edutainment in the community, where truth and facts mean more to us than ratings, and where we recognize and understand that none of us is as smart as all of us. That's why we work in community. We all got different gifts that we bring to this movement, and yours is something we need as well. Thank you for tuning in. I always want to give a shout out to my program director, my engineer, keyboard, man, all about the keyboard, Richard Wick, the owner and operator of Think Twice Radio, because when you think twice, you think right. And can you go wrong when you think right? Heck no. So, glad to see you this evening. If you're new, glad to see you. If you're steady, glad you're here. Let's get right now. Let's talk about it. Man, this has been a tough week, been a tough month, been a tough year. But tough times, just like good times, don't last always. Remember that. I want you to remember about those times that you thought you weren't going to make it through. And I don't think anybody in my listening voice or viewing area cannot harken back to a time when it was rough. And even times when you thought you weren't going to make it through. We don't have to enumerate them or how many times you've been through it, but you've gone through that. And because we're talking about it now, you obviously lived and survived it. And that's the mantra I want you to take. I will survive. Because on Wright Report, we don't do nothing but speak right, and we speak truth. Truth to you, and we speak life. These hard times won't last long, but we got to stand strong together, because any burden lifted together is lighter on all those who share the burden. So I'm glad you're here. I'm here to talk that truth. I'm here to bring them facts. Listen, this is the show where we got receipts. We don't need fact checkers. And I'm telling you like this. We got receipts so much that if we say something that you can disprove, we'll take. You know how you go to the store and they say, well, if you bring us the lower price, we'll match it. Bring me your receipts with a different fact that's verifiable, and I'll speak that truth. But right now, we're going to speak the truth that we do know. And the problem is too much despair, desperation, and discomfort. My people, again, this is not the end. Wake up, smell the coffee, but let's get back to moving forward. You see, I got my Souls to the Pole shirt on, and I want to give a shout out to Voice Buffalo, who provide this in every year, every election cycle. They're out there doing the early voting and getting our people out to vote early. And I want to be fully transparent here. I'm wearing this shirt and I support voting because, listen, I remember a time, first of all, when it was impossible for me to vote. Being incarcerated at one point was a death knell to any participation in the franchise. And disenfranchisement has been the buzzword for our community. So I support going out and vote. Some of the problems we have in this country now is because some of us didn't go out and vote. And numerically speaking, I can say that. That's not something I'm just conjuring or speculation. The electorate didn't come out. And if those of us who are now complaining and those of us who knew should have known what was going to happen or should have been involved in the franchise had done what they're supposed to do, we wouldn't be in this situation. Now, I want to make an analogy here so you know exactly where I'm coming from. I support the right to vote for sure. We fought and died for that. But it's just like I'm an abolitionist, right? I know we don't need jails and prisons. I know that there are other forms of dealing with the problems that we have. More importantly, there are ways to ameliorate and stop the problems we have so they don't turn into crime and punishment, like poverty. But I'm fighting to end that. But I have to be cognizant of the fact that right now people are locked up. And that if we don't make changes now to make their present day lives better, then by the time we get to abolition, and I'm honest, I don't believe it's going to be in my lifetime. So I'm going to try to live as long as I can. But I don't think it's going to be in my lifetime. But you don't fight always to see the victory in your lifetime. I want you to mull on that because we done gotten to this point where if we ain't going to see the win or we ain't going to be part of the win, we ain't in. And that's a short-sighted, really bad way of looking at things. Because sometimes the win is for your children's children's children. It ain't all about you. It ain't all about me. And when it's about us and we thinking generationally. What are we leaving for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, their children, for our progeny and our lineage beyond 2025 while we alive? That's what real planning, that's what real community, that's what real living is about. You don't live just for today, man. Because even if tomorrow don't come for you or I, it's going to come for somebody that you and I care about. So it's our responsibility, as Tupac said. I mean, we shot the Shakurs back-to-back weeks here. We shouted out to Sister Asada Shakur, who's transitioned and going on with the ancestors, our princess of struggle. And, you know, she showed you she won. And when she won, we won. Freedom here and freedom there. On earth as it is in heaven. Jeez. All right, we ain't gonna go there, but y'all got it. So I started the show off today with Tupac Shakur, man. And what he said is whatever comes out of his mouth is gonna be truth, and that he may not change the world. But he is hoping that his voice, his truth, his word will spark the brain of the person that will. That's a statement about it ain't all about me, but I'm willing to play my part. I'm gonna speak truth and let that seed germinate on fertile ground and grow into action when I'm no longer here, because that action is necessary to happen, and it is my assignment to plant the seed. And they say, a rapper, like they keep trying to codify us as these things. That's facts and knowledge. Boy, spit. And I'm a living example of that, because I'm going to speak truth from this pulpit and facts. And again, we got receipts. I'm going to spit them. And don't you forget them. So we got so much going on, but I do want to focus on a few things. So go out and vote, man. Go out, participate in the charade. You know how they say, fake it till you make it? Don't hate the player, hate the game. We got all these sayings, but we need you to go out and vote. Because actually, I explained last time we was on what politics about. It who decides what you get in your community, for your community. So we need to, if we're going to play in the game, at least put people in there who are going to represent you and I and our community. Going to get us the things that we want and need. And the first thing I want to do is send a shout out to Betty Jean Grant, who's running for a term as the District 2 legislator, county legislator. I endorse Betty Jean, because other than being, first of all, I don't know how she all over. She got to be good at what she do, because she's all over the place. And I don't see nobody as many places I see Betty Jean putting in work, letting us know what's going on, filming, interviewing, inspecting. That's who we need. We need people going to be in the community, not in an office. We're not going to hide from the struggles. We're going to unearth the struggles and be there to have some resolutions. That's Betty Jean Grant, your District 2 legislator. Let's get that word out there. I'm hoping to get her on the show before the election, even if we have to do it via satellite. You know, this technology, at least you ain't got to be in the studio to be on the show. So I'm going to reach out and make sure that I try to get on there, because we need people like her. Warriors. She's a woman warrior. We need warriors, man. We don't need just people who want a job or want a career. We need people who want to fight for the people and who going to fight as warriors for the people. Betty Jean Grant, that's what we need. That's one of the people we need. I'm going to update you on some of the people running. I mean, you're going to make your choice, but we're going to be a voice for those who we know stand up and stand out for what we need and what we about. Because anything about us or for us without us ain't about us. So if we ain't included, and I don't mean as window dressing or the period on the end of the sentence, we need to, this is our city. This is our world, man. This is our country. We need to, you talking about retaking something. We need to retake the principles upon which they established this dream of a democracy that is a republic that is now becoming a dictatorship. And make no mistakes about it. As long as we sit back and idly do or say nothing, like Tupac said, as long as I keep talking about the dirt, somebody gonna have the consciousness to clean it up. And it's dirty. It is filthy, ugly, stinking. And so we're going to talk about ways we can and we need to clean it up. And that's what it's going to be about. So, go. It's like I want jails over. We got them now, and we need to deal with them now and protect our men and women now. So we want to do that same thing with this vote. Till we can get the system that works for the people, by the people, with the people, and all that they say that it ain't, that it's really not. Till we get there, we got to deal with what's there, Or, you see what you get when you don't. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. So go out and vote, please. And I'll get that. Somebody holler at me. Early voting in New York State is, if anybody's listening to the show, I don't think there's no game on and nothing else. But anyway, come on now. Come on out and vote. We got a couple of events coming up, and I really want to highlight the event that's coming up on Monday, October 20th, at Elam Christian Fellowship Church on 70 Chalmers Avenue. Told you a little about it last time. I want to go a little more in detail so you understand. Flyers are out. Media requests is out. I mean, we are trying to get the community out because, let me say. For the first, half a year, we was inundated with the other side of the story. We got the Department of Corrections, we got the governor, we got the illegal guard striking, we got a media maelstrom, and only thing we got from our side was a soundbite and a reaction to what they were saying and doing. Well, on October 20th, this is our response. We've already put out our media requests, and we'll see how they treat us because we never get the fair. You know what? I don't even want fair. I just want equal time. Because I don't know if they can, today what can be fair. But I know we can get the same amount of time as the other side gets. Let them get the soundbite. Let's get the time. But we can explain from our side of the story what the truth is. And again, I got receipts. The truth of the matter is, halt solitary is the law in the state of New York. Halt is this law, local law for in the city of New York too. Both of which are not being followed to any degree, any greater degree anyway. It's not the law. So that's the law. But we had people all year complaining about it and saying things like it didn't promote safety, that it put people's lives in jeopardy. I want to recount to you again, 144 incarcerated people died this year. Up to this year, the statistics there, not one correction stat. And I don't want to make that about, safety. Safety is when you provide an environment when people are getting enough programming to nurture their own development and growth so that they don't recidivate or perpetuate what they did, if they did that, and if not, to give them an opportunity to habilitate themselves. Because the first thing we got to get rid of, truth be told, is this misnomer of rehabilitation. Let me be clear. We went from the plantations to the prisons. Plantations to the prisons. Somebody gonna say, you always saying that. Look it up, your own constitution, that ballyhoo thing y'all talk about, 13th Amendment. Slavery is only allowed in this country, first, so they say, as a punishment for a crime. You've been duly convicted. 13th Amendment. It says, slavery shall not exist in the United States or any subject to its jurisdiction, except, I don't know about you, I ain't passed English with flying colors either. But I know except me, everything before that, you better check this out. Except as for a punishment for a crime that one has been duly convicted of. So, make no mistake about it, we still in slavery. Penitentiary, prisons, plantations, same ideology. Free labor, I work, and I got no Social Security, I got no, I don't even, when I come, when you really walk out of a prison, you can be in there for 100 years. You have never worked as far as records are concerned out here. Even though you mandated to work in there or suffer what? Solitary confinement, torture. Yeah. But anyway, so all is the laws not being followed. All year they had a chance to tell their story. Please allow us now to tell ours. The truth. I will tell you. And this is what I want about reporting. Not fair, equal amount of time. Here it goes. Reporters are supposed to get the story from both sides, fact check it, and then get the truth to you and not. But rarely is that what happens in this country. Who controls the media tells you what's in news, what's not news, what's the truth and what's not the truth. And I got this thing about lies. We got to talk about. I'll get to that in a second. But I need you to know that we have a story to tell, and it's the truth, and it's the fact that they know that solitary confinement has never worked towards the benefit of society. It was outlawed because it caused discombobulation, mental illness, suicide, obviously death. So there's no question about that. Nobody's saying nothing about that. We know the psychosis, the paranoia, the anxiety, the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual stresses that it causes. We know this. That's indisputable. So where's the safety for the people who are put in that situation without the attendant necessary elements to avoid just decompensation? Oh, so we saying we throw them away. You go to and first of all, they voted for halt because it showed that it was not the worst of the worst that was going to solitary. It was everybody and their mama because they were being arbitrary and capricious about its administration. And now when we put the rules in that they got to follow, they don't want to follow them. I'm not understanding this. But on the 20th, October 20th, Monday, you have the opportunity to come to see the Journey to Justice bus, a tour that's going across the country and will be in New York for 3 visits to Buffalo, Mount Kisco, New York, and New York City. It will be in Buffalo on the 20th. It will be at Elam Christian Fellowship Church. And this is like a museum on wheels. It gives you anything and everything you ever wanted to know about solitary except having to be in the cell yourself. And oh, by the way, there is a replica solitary cell attached to it that you can also go in and experience a scintilla of what it would feel like to be in a solitary environment for weeks, months, years, the way they say they need it done. They want it done the way Halt has stopped it from being done. You get to decide for yourself. You don't have to believe me, who've been tortured solitary repeatedly, or the advocates, or the electeds. You can come and find out for yourself. An opportunity without having to go to jail or prison to suffer the indignity, inhumanity, and torture yourself. Now, it's open to everybody. We've sent out invitations to every elected official in the county, every high-ranking official, anybody can come on the 20th. There's 2 sessions. I got the flyer here. It's one is from 12 to 3, and the other one's, I think, from 5 to 9. And you can come out. You get a tour of the bus. It's an a museum. You usually think about, you got dinosaur bones in there. You got just pictures. No, it is interactive. They have VR goggles where you can go into a cell yourself and see, what it's like. They have interactive things, computer-generated stuff that you can engage with to get a real sense of the level and depth of this trauma and torture that we have fought for over a decade to stop, got it passed into law, and that has continued, and now it's being exacerbated by the fact that you don't have to have a disciplinary issue to be in solitary. The system is pretty much shut down. Now, I want you to understand this. The system is shut down, which means people are not getting the necessary tools they need to come back out here and be the citizens we all want them to mature into. They're not getting the programming. They're not getting the mental health services, medical services, counseling, group therapy, and then we're going to bring them back out here. And then if they do happen to recidivate, what we going to do? We're going to point the finger at them. But I was always told, when then you pointing the finger at somebody, it's three of them pointing back at you. And that's what we're creating now. And we need to end this creation. I want people to come out. I want students to come out. I want professionals to come out. I want those guards and those officials who stand on the other side of this issue. Come on out. Come on out. We're having a press conference at 12 noon on that day that you can be a part of. But come on out. I want you to come on out and you stand in front of the people who are going through this, who are seeing, experiencing what we're telling is torture, what we know is torture, and sit in front of them and tell them that what I'm saying, what we've been decrying for the longest, is not true. Please, I want you to do that. Okay, thank you for reminding me of that, Susan. Right. People keep saying this misnomer that they came out with these sham recommendations. They put this sham committee together of only docs officials. Nobody from any other side. Not the lawyers, not the advocates, not the community, not anybody else. Just them and their unions, officers' unions, lieutenants, captains, sergeants, all that, right? So they do that. All they do, just their people. Just like the game that's always rigged when, again, nothing about us without us is for us. Just them, remember. Just them made this committee. Just them came up with these recommendations. In full transparency, they did allow the other side, us, to meet with them one day to show us what their recommendations were. Not to negotiate anything, but to let us know that these were what they came out with before they submitted them. As if, that's enough, sir. So they came up with these recommendations only on their side. And they sit there as if for a dozen years we didn't ask them to come to the table and discuss these issues about halt the law we had written. I told you before, in the very beginning, they laughed. Y'all crazy. You'll never get anything like that passed. We went to the ground. We went to the community. We went to the people, and we got super majorities. For y'all who don't know politics, you can't even imagine the accomplishment that is. And that's not aggrandizing I'm talking about. I'm saying super majority in both houses. They don't get that for most anything, less criminal justice matters. We got that. The bill got passed, it got signed, and was never implemented. This committee comes up, they make these rules, these recommendations, as if they want to sit down now. Now, let me tell you something. I know everybody on my team may not agree with my position, and that's why I'm speaking for myself right now. It's the Wright report, right? Had they came to the table when we offered it on multiple occasions and was denied, rebuffed, or laughed at, then maybe maybe we could have done some of these things they're now recommending. I don't know. But how could you make a recommendation on something that you never implemented? That's the real question here. So I'm recommending that you do this, even though we never did that. So I know on-air silence ain't cool, but I need that to marinate. Halt. Thank you, Susan Wright. It's not an option. It is the law. It is not negotiable. It is the law. If you want to change and make recommendations to halt, and this is for you, Governor Hochul, and I'm going to be hollering at you in a week or two, not even a week or two, in a few days, because I sent a video out to you and the electeds and got absolutely no response. As a matter of fact, the response I did get was your almost full capitulation to the demands of the illegally striking officers that resulted in a dozen deaths of my brothers and sisters incarcerated. That's what I watch. I watch y'all bend over backwards to allow halt that wasn't implemented to begin with to be paused for what's supposed to have been 90 days that God knows how long it's been now. But you want us to follow the law. And when I broke the law, and I damn sure did, I'm not innocent. I was not innocent, like many of them that were still in there. When I broke the law, I didn't say, yo, I'm not coming in. Nah, I don't like it. Let me recommend how I want to do this time. Or let's negotiate. I couldn't do none of that. I had to follow the law and took my black behind to jail, then to prison. Lord and change, I guess. Lord and change. You people asked us not to riot and destroy and do all manner of violence. You said, follow the rules. Do it the right way. Get your community mobilized. Get your elected officials to submit the bills. Get your elected officials to get the bills passed. Get the governor to sign it, and then get the law implemented. We went through all those steps except implementation. And that was in 2021. This is 2025. Soon to be 26. Soon will be 5 years of the implementation of the halt solitary law. Yeah. That's messed up. I've devoted, matter of fact, damn near my entire release to fighting for this cause because I know the torture and what it did to my people, to anybody. I've suffered PTSD, recounting the horrors that I and others went through. I suffered the anxiety of having to speak and bring up my past, of being vulnerable to people who only know me now and letting them see who I was and what happened to me. I've jeopardized my family, friendships, and everything to stand on what I know is right and to do it for once the right way, no pun intended. And what I got now is a slap in the face by the governor, our state legislature, and any damn body else who's allowing this travesty of justice to continue to transpire. Where men and women, now wholesale, more people in solitary now, right now, today, than there was in 2021 or 2020. Or even before, what was that, COVID. I told you my shows wasn't going to all be about crime and punishment. And I wasn't just going to be on here about, law and order. But the more and more I think about the intertwining of what's going on, but what I'm talking about when I talk crime and punishment is just a microcosm of what's going on in a larger scale. Sending troops, National Guards into Chicago and Portland and Washington is like sending the search team or the goon squad in the D block, A block, or C block. Having a president who retaliates and wields power, negligently and discriminatorily, and violates everything that's supposed to be they stand for. That's any correctional facility in the state of New York. Same thing. Fiefdoms and I mean, like, so if you think that all I'm talking about and referencing is what's going on in the prison industrial complex, you gotta remember we got a medical industrial complex. We got we got complexes out the wazoo when you keep it real, and all of them are infected with racism and brutality, man. Racism and brutality, every single one of them. And until we get together and decide that we're not going for racism, we're not going for. And I know I'm off the path for a minute. I was sick a few days and still a little congested. That's why I took something to dry up my nose and it's drying up my mouth and everything else. But I wasn't going to miss being able to come here and be with y'all. And not just to promote the 20th, because that's important to me, but to promote the sense that we got to be in conversation with each other. And you and I got to work together to build this movement in this community. Because if we don't, you got to see what's happening around you. And if we don't stand for something, proverbially, we'll fall for everything and anything that's coming down the pike. It's really hard to keep my composure when I'm thinking about the brothers that I just talked to a brother tonight on the phone, that every day I'm getting calls and they're really hurting in there because not because of HALT, because they won't follow HALT, because everybody knows who really wants to do something about what's going on with violence, knows that pro-social programming, days full of activities that help you to think and be better are the panacea for let me give it again, the misnomer, rehabilitation. So here's rehabilitation. They tell you go to jail, you're supposed to get rehabilitated. Wrong. First of all, the notion of rehabilitation is, I've had rehab. I'm trying to rehab my shoulder now. I've had surgeries. Rehab is you had something, it got broken, messed up. You go to rehab and you get it back well. But the people who are coming in, a system already broken, what are you rehabbing them to? What are you rehabbing them to? I mean, if I got no ankles, I can't rehabilitate them. They don't work. I mean, like, you're talking about people who have been marginalized, discriminated against, racialized, criminalized, and all of that. And what? It amazes me that we don't see the forest but for the trees, knowing the layout of the land. You have got to understand that it starts with a little prison law like HALT. Then it goes with the suspension of all of your rights. Again, they always start off small, picking out the most unsavory, the most disliked, the most despised, the most vulnerable of us. And then, once they get that going, The train don't stop. It don't stop there. It ends up being yours and my problem too. I mean, I saw that movie too. I thought you did. Read the book. The book was better. Get it, man. This idea, I'm sorry. I'm foggy like you don't know what. The governor of the state of New York capitulated to the illegal actions of the Department of Corrections. Who's running the state? Department of Corrections or the governor? Oh, they can say, oh, she fired this man. You fired a bunch. As I can tell you, got receipts. Many were rehired. Some ain't come back because they ain't want to because they can't visit upon us the brutality, the death, and everything else. Thank you, bro. I saw you. Good looking now. That's my partner that just shouted out. Big Victor on Solitary. A brother who spent more time than me. I said 12+ years. Spent his years fighting to get a law that would help people get better. So rehabilitation is a misnomer. Programs habilitate people. Because most of the people, when they go to programs, even when they're resistant, and I'm speaking this from personal experience, I ain't got receipts. I also got all my, look at my account. When you go to certain programs, even when you're resistant, just being in that room, just being around that information helps you to absorb and learn some things that you may have never learned or been exposed to before. Knowing that there's other alternatives and options than the ones you've traditionally thought or were grown into or taught growing up is how you habilitate somebody, how you get them to grow so that if, and after that growth, something goes wrong, then you can get them back there. But they've been lying to us from the beginning about, because that doesn't, prisons and jails don't, first of all, jails are a cesspool for inactivity. There is no programming. So what are you doing for somebody during that time? Oh, because the most they could be there is a year. That means their lives for that year doesn't make no difference. They don't need a program. They don't need to learn. They don't need to grow. They don't need to. Oh, man. I just can't believe how some of us go for this whole shenanigans. I don't think you got to be locked up to see that this thing, that the system ain't broke, that it's working the way they designed it, and that if you really want people to get better, then you don't put them in a situation like solitary that makes them bitter and decompensate. You put them in a situation where they're getting programming that helps them to act better, think better, then by way, do better. You expose them to communities that will keep them accountable. You expose them to peers that will help them to grow, who've grown themselves. They know what works. You give them college. You give them education, not lies. Lies. We just had what? Yesterday was supposed to be a holiday. Columbus Day. Now it's Indigenous Peoples Day. Because what they told and would still let you believe is a lie is that Christopher Columbus found America. Like nobody was here. Like he knew where he was going to begin with. Looking for India and came across. That's why they call them Indians. You know, Indians are in India. Native Americans and tribal people by their name, Cayuga, Cheektowaga, Seneca, the Haudenosaunee Nation, all of these, they're not Indians. They're native to this land, number one, and they're called by their tribal names. He called them Indians, told us another lie, decimated and destroyed that community. And then they wanted to make a holiday out of it. Like Thanksgiving is another, come on, man. You know, Malcolm said it, and that's what I was pulling up about the truth. And I'm sorry to be a little disjointed tonight, but man, listen, I'm human. I get a little ill. I try to keep myself in order, but you gotta. We have got to understand that the problems we face now, the problems we face right now, are all of our problems. Just like none of us is smart as all of us. All of us ain't in the same boat, but we all in the same storm. And come on out on October 20th and find out for yourself. Educate yourself. Be autodidactic. I like that word. That's the word for the day. So we're going to have a word for the day and get that started yet, but we'll start with that. Autodidactic. Be autodidactic. Know and learn for yourself. Don't even depend on me. I got my receipts. But still, man, educate yourself. The one thing that listen, you know the only reason why they wanted to kill us and even their own to teach and not teach us to read? Because far be it that people always believe knowledge is power, because knowledge is potential power. It depends on what knowledge you got and how you use it. But knowledge is also what helps you to navigate and make the decisions. And an informed and knowledgeable decision is always better than one made under any other circumstances. That's why you read. That's why you study. That's why you learn. So that when you make decisions about your life and the lives of others in your care and your community, you make them from a place of knowledge and not a place from ignorance or emotion. It's all right to be passionate. To be passionate and ignorant, that don't go together well. All right? So let's put that on the table. So I need y'all to come on out on the 20th. I need you to bring your children. We got a whole future generation who's so disconnected from what's going on because they keep them plied with this technology and all the games and all the algorithms and all that. And we got to get it back to the point where we're teaching our own because nobody else is going to teach them. As they try to erase our history. Now, why would you try to erase history? The only reason you want to erase history, well, not only, at least two reasons I can think of. One, you want to put your own in there. Two, you don't want those without a history are condemned to perish, to not strive. If you don't know where you come from, you don't know what you can go to. You don't know from what tree you come from. You don't know what fruit you bear. You got to know your history. So an attempt to erase that is an attempt to silence you and to make you stay stuck where you at. Because you can only grow when you can see and learn of people who before you look like you have made accomplishments. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait till we get this thing really rolling. So I need you to really understand this. I ended the show last week with a little piece, and I don't know if everybody got to catch it or if they understood it. And it really speaks to what I'm talking about now, why we want you to show up, why we need you to be involved, why only you and I can do something, and why it's in you to be a part of this movement towards what we really call justice, and not this what we call it, this fake justice or this fictionalized justice. Have a listen. Well, give me a second. You know.
Hey. What is your deepest fear, young man? Go on.
Why you keep saying that? What's your deepest fear? What that mean?
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
Many of you will recall that as a really poignant scene with Samuel Jackson, the young man, and Coach Carter. That's a famous retort there, but I want to bring it home for us in the last few minutes that we got together. Why are you shrinking? Why are you hiding your light? Why are you not shining and bringing your light together with all of us to shine brighter? What is your greatest fear? Why are you subjugating yourself to make other people comfortable? Why are you going along to get along when you don't feel that in your spirit? Why are you allowing the things to transpire around you that you disagree with, but you don't want to be disagreeable? Why are you shrinking from your responsibility to show others their power through your own? What is your greatest fear? What are you hiding and running from? Do you want to always be just a vestige of yourself and not your full humanity be exposed to the world? The young man said that saved his life because he was hiding with other people, behind other people, living a life that, well, he wasn't meant to live. He was scared of his own power, his own light, his own strength, his own gift that God gave all of us. That is the trick of the devil, to fool you into believing that you are smaller and insignificant, that you are powerless and puny, that your light doesn't shine as bright as other people's light, and that to stand next to somebody's light is to extinguish your own. It is only science that says the two lights that attach themselves to each other can only shine brighter. And that a light that's dimmed can only shine brighter if it is placed next to a light that is as dim or brighter than itself. Where are you, my lights? We need you to come out and show who you are. We need our community. Oh, thank you. I just got to shout out Betty Jean. I hope you'll come on the show next week or the week after before election so people can hear your platform, so we can we can show them what real leadership looks like. So we can show them with somebody who doesn't shrink from their light, who shines brightly in spite of all of the people that dare to dim their lights. Somebody who really cares about the community because they live in the community, they serve the community, they love the people in the community. If a leader don't love what they're leading, they will abuse that leadership. That's why we need Betty Jean Grant. District 2, get out and vote. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being an inspiration to all of us. Thank you for being a fighter and a woman warrior. Because in our community, we value women warriors. Because men know we can't fight alone, that only together can we win those battles. So, thank you, Betty Jane, and hope we can get you on the show so you can speak your piece, because I know nobody can tell it like you can tell it for yourself. Amen. Let me call you. I got that number. I will, let me write that down. I will call you. I swear I will. Y'all look out, man. Y'all keep tuning in, because we're gonna have Betty Jean on the show, man. I'm gonna get on it. Thank you. I will give you a call. But as I was saying, y'all, the man felt he saved his life because this man taught him to be himself, to be not only unique and to be strong, but to be the light that shines so that others can be bright too, that he can bring other people into his light. And that's what we need in this movement. We need our bright lights to come together. Listen, we got leaders doing everything in this community. They running this, running that, but we don't do anything together. And that's how they keep us pitted against one another. Divide and conquer is the greatest stratagem known to man. The greatest. And we still allow that to happen in our community. Listen, man, we don't. I love my wife, but you think we don't? I don't agree with everything. We have our so. Don't tell me you can't rock with together because you don't like this one or you got to beef with that. Because listen, even with the people you love and care for, you have beefs because that's how relationships go. That's a relationship. Any relationship without a beef, somebody or both of y'all fronting, all of y'all fronting. I'm saying that, and I got receipts. I don't know a relationship, a real one, that hasn't gone through something. That's how you form a relationship. That's how you decide that this is who you want to be with, hang with, stick with, boo up, whatever it is. You could go through something together. You say, hey, that's my ride or die, or I'm with this one, or whatever. Stop running from hardship, man. We said in the beginning, I'm going to say it again. Just like good times, hard times don't last always. Think of the best times you ever had. Gone, right? Same with hard times. Stop. Man, we speaking life here. Stop using the excuse that things are hard. Because that's how you grow, through resistance. You don't grow through just existing. Existing? No. And when you pump weights, it's the resistance. Pain, no gain. I'm coming at you next week with that. Betty Jean be here or not, we're going to throw that in because we got to understand we got to go through some things. And when you go through them together, they're not as hard. Promise you. And you get through them quicker. Promise you. And you get on the other side to those good things that also don't last always. But at least you get to them. So come on, y'all. Let's wake up, man. They say they hate. They done turned woke into a bad word now. They done made woke bad. You know why? Because they don't want you to be woke. Because don't nothing come to a sleeper but what? A dream. Woke people know what's going on and demand that it go on in a way that benefits everybody and not just a few. I think, Samuel, man, that role he played in Coach Carter is like, Oscar worthy in my estimation, humble estimation. But it's all about leadership. It's all about a man who cared about the people under his charge enough to not want to be their friends. To not care about their feelings as much as he cared about their future. My end notes. For you, that was for one of you parents out there who want to be friends and not a parent. Or grandparents, because they young now, I'm one. Children need leadership. They need guidance. They got enough friends in the playground, in school, and in camp, in the community center, and on the block, and in the family. They need your love and leadership. You can't worry about them being mad or angry or disappointed. You got to worry about what you're building for the future. And that ain't gonna always be pretty. You ain't always gonna be the cool dad or mom or the beloved one. But if you do your job right, then you will have been the best person to be in their life, bar none. So let's stop trying to be friends, man. I was never my mother's friend, even when I was grown. Because there was a conjugation there. There was a line of demarcation. It said, I'm your mother and I'm not your friend. I'm your father and I'm not your friend. I'm responsible for you. But But you ain't gotta like me. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to love me. But I gotta do what I'm supposed to do from the cradle to the grave. And that's not be your friend. That's be the one who helps you get from where you at to where you trying to be. Shout out Pastor Betty. That's for those who remember what your grandma say. Going there, can't tell been there how to get there. One more time, Pastor Betty. Going there, can't tell been there how to get there. See you next week. The Wright Report, edutainment for the community. We are one. Love you. Remember, only unified when we come together. See you. No button.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.